Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Well, I got a 2017 Ford Transit van, one of the full-size ones, not one of the little ones, you know, like the Dodge Ram ProMaster City. You know, this is like the full-size van, rear-wheel drive, the whole 9 yards. It's a 150 series, I think. So what am I doing to it? Well, it came in with a brake noise. And this is actually the first time I've ever really worked on one. I did work on one time before for a fuel pump issue, but that was it. That was many years ago. But I've never actually had the pleasure of working on one before. And Ford, I must commend you on doing something that I never thought I'd ever see. I always thought this was a dumb design. And Ford brought it to the next level of stupid. Front brake rotors, this design in particular, the rotor bolts on from the backside. You have to unbolt the hub, take the hub off, unbolt the rotor to get the rotor off on the backside, bolt it back up to the hub assembly, and bolt the hub assembly back up to the vehicle. Stupid. Stupid. But hey, you saw me do that Chevy Colorado in my garage, right? Same type of setup. Let me show you. So here, you can see the bolts going in from the front. So the rotor has threaded holes in it. These bolts go into the threaded holes. You unbolt it, the rotor comes free of the hub, but then what? You can't get it off. You got to take the whole hub assembly out just to get the rotor off, to change it over. Okay, I've seen that used plenty of times. Bad enough. I hated that design, especially being from New York and the Rust Belt, trying to deal with a car. Whenever you got something like this on like a Chevy Colorado or Honda Accords, early Honda Accords, they did the same thing. Whenever you got those, you may as well just put hub bearings in it because you usually destroy them in the process. So now, Ford took it to the next level. I got a rear wheel off. Well, let me show you this design. Hang on a second. Okay, so now if you've never seen this, which, like I said, I've never worked on one of these, so I've never seen this, and absolutely dumbfounded as to the reasoning behind this. But check this out. Stupidity overload. So here, you have a rotor that's bolted to the backside of the axle flange. So now, you got to take the axle out to get the rotor off. You got to take the axle out. You may as well put axle bearings and seals in at the same time. I mean, that is just dumb. What is the who thought this up? What is the reasoning behind this? I don't know. I don't get it. Ford, I give you credit for coming up with some of the dumbest ideas I've ever seen. This is one of them. The Ford 543 valve with that stupid spark plug that breaks off in the cylinder head every time you got to change one. That's another one. I mean, that's talk about just incredibly dumb designs. This is one of them. But if I'm not mistaken, these are actually European vehicles that are brought over here. I think they're for the European market, and then they brought them over here. And I don't know why the European market does it. Like, they usually use, instead of wheel studs, they usually use, like instead of these, they actually usually use wheel bolts, you know, like Audis and stuff like that. But for some reason, they decided to go with the American design of using wheel studs and lugs instead of wheel bolts, but then they did this with the rotor. I don't know. I don't get it. Just stupid. Doesn't need rear brakes. Doesn't need front brakes though. Rear brakes are fine. Front brakes are grinding. I'm curious what the labor is for something like that. Let me look that up before I end this video. I'm just really curious. Okay, so for rear to R&R the rotors, it goes for over 3 hours. For the fronts to R&R rotors, it goes for about 2.5 hours, plus an additional hour and a half to do the brakes themselves. I don't know. I don't get it. But whatever. I didn't design it. So anyway, just thought I'd show you that. Hopefully you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.